Can you guys hear me okay? The internet's been a
Yes.
little awesome. You know, it's so funny. I get so nervous on these things and then the computer dies and and so you just got to go with things, right? So I am so thankful that I am able to be a part of this client call tonight. I have a passion for helping people. And when I am in a conversation with somebody, I normally fall into the role of helping people pass their fears and their doubts. And it's just something that I love doing. So thank you very much for asking me to do this. And I hope tonight that I'm going to be able to inspire you to look within and to realize that all of you have the abilities and you have the support and you have the tools in your hand to reach optimal health. As coaches, we have an amazing opportunity for personal growth. It's been amazing and it's something that I didn't expect. And I'm currently taking a wonderful class from an inspiring leader. Her name is Helen Irwin. And Helen has introduced a concept that I would like to share with all of you. And that is, we all have an invisible power. I know that sounds a little weird, but we all do. We all have something, it's an invisible power. And that power is the magnificent power of decision. And it is so important in our health journey. I think back to the events that led me to making that decision. And it kind of like when Larry was speaking just now, and can't wait to meet you, Larry. Um, when he was speaking, that I was thinking, oops, people are coming off mute. But when I was at that point, I was 252 pounds and 47. And I was having a trouble, like when I would get down on the ground and play with all my dogs. For those of you that know me, I have animals everywhere. But when I would do that, I'd had a hard time getting up off the ground. And I was 47. I'm like, why am I having a hard time getting up off the ground? But something like something made me conscious of where I was in my health. And I realized I was not in a good place. And at the time, I had gotten a divorce. I was becoming an empty nester. My daughter was going off to school. So I was going to be alone in the house. I had also lost my career as a principal, something that I had tried so hard for and I identified with. And because of a very cruel superintendent, I lost my job and it was devastating. And it ended up in a legal battle. And then in addition to that, in addition to all those great things, I also ended up with a spinal fusion. I woke up one morning and I could not go to the bathroom. I couldn't do either one. And it was something that just came out of nowhere, and found out that it was because of my back. I had a nerve that was being pinched, but I also had some vertebrae that were like had been just worn away. So I now have 2 rods and 6 screws in my back after having this surgery. And so I knew I needed to do something. I had lost who I was, and I needed to reinvent myself. So I made a decision. Helen states that this universal power is within us all, and this power simply awaits our decision. Our future can be whatever we decide it to be. I won't deny that my decision to be healthy didn't scare me. It did. I was like, "Oh my gosh, am I going to be able to do this? Can I do what everybody else did?" I'm sure when you hear Larry talk about how much weight he lost, you're like you're like, "Can I be like Larry?" And you can. Can you be like me? Yes, you can. Every single one of you can do what we have done. You all have the tools. You all have the skills. It just takes a decision. And so, I self-doubt flooded me when I was thinking about this decision. You get all those things in your head and you get all those voices those voices that tell you you can't. And those voices kind of keep you trapped and where you were and or where I was. And so, I tried Weight Watchers when I was younger, and I would think about going back to Weight Watchers, and I was like, oh my gosh, I cannot do those meetings and stand in line and give them my little tab. And I was like, no, can't do that again. So I would do, I tried Slim Fast. I tried pills. I tried Fen-Phen, the stuff that made you have heart problems. Luckily, I did not. I tried, there's a doctor in town that gives you thyroid medication and helps you drop your weight through thyroid meds and puts you on a keto diet and then says, hey, you're gonna do great. I did. I lost the weight, but guess what? It came back. And it came back with a vengeance, right? Because I didn't work on this. So I had all of those things that I had tried. And so my brain was going, you already tried everything that's out there. The only thing that's left is a gastric bypass. And so then I started looking at gastric bypass, and because I was 100 pounds overweight. And I had a friend that had a gastric bypass, and I cannot exactly remember what issue that she had, other than she ended up with an enormous blood clot and almost died. She ended up being back in the hospital for a week, and it scared me enough to look at one more thing. It scared me enough to make a decision. So Helen points out that we shouldn't judge ourselves by what has happened in the past. Instead, we should only judge ourselves by what we do from this moment forward. We are where we are today as a result of our past decisions, and that's okay. I'm giving you permission to stop beating yourself up over your past decisions. More importantly, the future will be a result of the decision we make today, which is why we never move forward by looking back. The day I decided I had enough pain and embarrassment, I moved forward and never looked back. I listened to my coach, I leaned on her for support, and I dropped 102 pounds in 9.5 months. If I can do this, so can you. There's nothing special about me, nothing at all. I'm just like every one of you. During my journey, I made a decision to become a coach, which I will forever be grateful for. I have had the opportunity to help inspire people by using what used to make me embarrassed and sad. I took all of that pain that I had and I made it in an inspiration. And now I have clients across the United States, and I'm able to help them move past struggles, and I get to celebrate with them when, I've got all these, I get flooded with, I lost 5 pounds or I did this, and it's so much fun. I cannot tell you how heartwarming it is for me to be able to take that pain and turn it into something amazing. And one of my amazing, well, she's not my immediate client, but is somebody that I've worked with. She lives in the same town as I do, and her name is Ronnie Daniels. Ronnie and I teach in the same school district, so she has had the same issues that I have had. And she also has an amazing story to tell. So I would like to turn it over to you, Ronnie.
Thanks, Michelle. So I just need to tell you, Michelle lied to you there for a second. She is special. She's so special. And I'm so blessed that she's one of my coaches, because Michelle will tell you how it is, but she'll use like darling or sweetheart to kind of lessen that blow. But she's amazing, and I love her so much. And I'm so privileged that I get to work with her. So anyway, hi friends. So glad to be here. So excited to talk to you. So I'm going to share a little bit about my health journey. Hopefully my dog will be quiet. And I want to talk to you a little bit about my own breakthrough of belief. So I'm going to be a little bit vulnerable here. I'm going to tell you some things that I probably haven't told. Maybe I've probably told 2 people. So I'm going to try to get through it without crying. I've been practicing all day, but bear with me. So let me give you a little bit of background. I did the health assessment with my coach, and then I didn't sign up for a year later, you guys. It was a long time. So that tells you like the level of my commitment right there. It took me a long time to even say yes to signing up. And so I signed up in July of 2020. And let me tell you a little bit about where it really was at. So I had been divorced for about 5 years. I had been newly married for 7 months, but there were already some issues there, and it was not good. I was struggling with chronic kidney stones, and because of my kidney stones, my immune system was compromised, and I was sick all the time. I teach first grade, so I'm around little germy kids all the time, which I love. I love my first graders, but it caused me, to be sick a lot. And by November of every year, I was out of sick leave because that's how sick I was all the time, in and out of the hospital, kidney stuff. I'd been demoted in a job that I loved. Michelle told you we work in the same district. I was an instructional coach for about 4 years. And then I was demoted to kindergarten or first grade teacher, which, by the way, I love my first graders. So it was a demotion, but not really. They didn't get me. Anyway, and to be honest with you, life sucked. I'm just going to be honest. All of it sucked. My beliefs were that I stink at marriage. I stink as a parent. I stink at my job. Obviously, they demoted me. I stink at my health because I'm sick all the time. Honestly, I stink at life. I'm not good at anything. That was my belief system coming into this. So I started program. Well, ish. I was doing the 5-in-1-ish plan. Do you know that one? Where for me, it was, I ate all my feelings, but then my lean and green meal wasn't on point, or I wouldn't do it. I see some people agree with me. So I was doing all of this within my first month, and I was losing a little bit of weight, but then guess what came? The celebration call, which is awesome, right? Like, it's great to celebrate with your clients, but I knew what was coming because I knew I was not on program completely, and I wasn't completely committed to it because I didn't believe I could do it. My own belief in myself wasn't there. So we get on this celebration call with my coach, Charlene, and Michelle. And I'm like, I got these ladies fooled. Like, they're going to believe that I am all in, right? I can do this. Nah. We get to the systems check, and I couldn't fake it. Michelle, she's good. She's good at asking questions that will get to the meat of it. And she did. And so I had to tell them that I'm not doing that great on program. My lean and green meals, I don't like to cook. I don't like to cook. I stink at cooking. So all those recipes that you guys are putting online, forget about it. That's not going to happen. Oh, and I stink at math. So measuring stuff, we're just going to eyeball it. Okay. That's just what it's going to be. So do you hear myself talk? I stink at math. I stink at cooking. I stink at being a parent. I stink at being a wife. Guys, that was a ton of negative self-talk. So at the end of the call, well, after the systems check, and Michelle got a good idea of where I was really at, Michelle says to me, you need to stop playing around with this, sweetheart. See, I told you. So she throws that sweetheart thing in there to kind of lessen the blow. But she was right. I need to not stop playing around with this. So when we got off that call, then she started asking me about my whys. Rude. And let me tell you what my whys were. Here were my whys. Number 1, I want to be healthy and really live. Number 2, I want to feel confident. Number 3, I want my mental health to improve. those are some solid whys, right? Like those are pretty good, but they weren't good for me because I need specific, I need to be able to visualize that why. And then they were just too vague. So I'm not sure where I heard it, but I heard it somewhere. Somebody said, if your why doesn't make you cry, it's not big enough. If your why doesn't make you cry, it's not big enough. So if you're telling somebody your why and you're not crying, you might need to rethink that why. And that's what I did. So I also thought at the end of that call, Ronnie, what would happen if we really did this program, like for 1 week? Let's just give it a week. Because I'd already been losing. Like when we came to the celebration call, I'd already lost like 5. My husband says 10. But you see, it wasn't a memorable point for me. So I decided, you know what? I'm just going to try it for 1 week. Let's be honest. It was a day by day thing. I did good all day. And now here comes my lean and green. And Ronnie, don't blow it because you've done well all day. Don't blow it. Come on, we can do this. And so I did it for a week. Guess what happened? Because I committed to this one little thing for 1 week, you guys, that one decision led to results, which then led to committing to other things. So I felt better and I can fit into clothes again. And that led to, I started caring about how I looked, which led to now I have more confidence, which then led to I have peers that now have confidence in me again. I was leading a first grade team and I didn't believe in myself. How could they believe in me? Now they're believing in me because my belief system is back. That led to success and wanting to perform well in my job, which then led to creating goals in my professional and my personal life. You guys, I have been renting a house for 10 years. 10 years. Like I could have been putting that money away in a house of my own, but I haven't. You know why? Because I didn't believe in myself. I didn't believe that I could make a plan, that I could set a goal, and that I could follow through with that. So, but guess what? This girl is going to buy a house. It may be this year or it may be next year, but this girl is going to buy a house because now I can set goals and make plans for myself and know that I'm capable and I can follow through on those things. But it was like a snowball effect. I had to take little steps to get to bigger things. Like I had to commit and say yes to 1 week of program. That was it. That's all. Then what can I do beyond that? Then what can I do beyond that? These all led to stronger whys. So now my whys are, I want to prove to myself and that inner negative voice. I heard somebody talking about that inner, I think it was Michelle, talking about that inner negative voice again. I needed to tell that inner negative voice that I was capable to do and complete whatever I set my mind to. My second why was I want to be an example of health and life for my kids. I want them to look at me and see that their mom is someone who can achieve her goals and not just survive life, but thrive in life. That's what I was doing. I was surviving day by day, but now I'm thriving. My third why is I want to be a light of hope for others. I want to teach as many people as I can about this program and how to have health and an amazing life that we all deserve. And guess what? My beliefs changed too. Now my beliefs are, you know what? I'm a valuable partner in this marriage and I can add to it and I can work on it just as much as he can. And so that's getting better. Secondly, I'm a loving parent who's an example to her children. Third, I rock my job. I love my job and I'm rocking it right now. And I've created other goals for my career. And guess what? I'm rocking this health journey. You guys, I've lost 65 pounds, 65 pounds, right? I still have more to go, but there it is. And honestly, I'm loving life And I know that I have an amazing future ahead of me. Finally, before I sign off, I want to talk about that negative voice that's in your head. And I want to talk to you, give you a couple of tips for shutting that voice up. Okay. And I'll tell you another secret. I learned this from Michelle. All right. So, number one, I have named that voice because I need to call it something when it gets in my head, right? So, my name for this voice is Davina. And when Davina shows up and she starts saying, you're not good enough, you stink at, I have to tell her to shut up and go away. Second, every time that talk starts up, you've got to tell her to shut up and go away. I say, you know what, Davina? Those negative thoughts and lies are not serving my goals right now. And I have a lot of work to do. So you need to kick it to the curb. Get out. And then the last tip is you need to be consistent in doing that. You need to be consistent in kicking out that negative voice. Don't live in it. It's easy to live in it. I did for, gosh, you guys, I'm 46 years old. And I think most of my life I've lived with Davina in my head, ruling my life. And you've got to kick her out, kick him out, whatever it takes. Finally, you are capable. You are capable and you add value. You have been uniquely created to offer this world only what you can offer it. You've been created to offer us what only you can give us. So you got to start believing in yourself, commit to a goal, and watch that success snowball into other areas of your life. Pick one thing and go get it. All right, guys, thank you so much. You got this. Go get them.
Oh, Michelle, hold on.
There we go.
There we go.
Technology, I swear. Ronnie, I didn't know whether to cry or laugh during that. You're amazing. I love you. All right. Gina, I don't see myself up there. I don't know if I'm supposed to or not. There we go. Look at my beautiful face. All right, you guys. So Ronnie, you were just amazing. And I deeply love you. You crack me up. I don't remember saying that, but just so you guys know, I know Ronnie outside. So I might've been just a little bit harsher with her, but you know, she did it. All right. So in the Habits of Health system on page 73, Dr. A asks, are you really ready to change? This is where that magnificent power of decision that we all possess comes into play. He states one of the most important factors of successful change is knowing, do we really want to change in the first place? So you got to ask yourself, do I really want to change? If we are not prepared to shift our mindset and focus on necessary behavioral changes, then we are set up to struggle, to fail, and to quit. And for me, that wasn't a choice for me. I would like for you to consider, if you are struggling in your belief that you can achieve your health goals, you possibly need to revisit this decision to become healthy. If you don't feel a strength when you say, I want to be healthy, I personally feel a strength. It comes from here. If you don't feel that strength when you ask yourself about finding optimal health, it could be caused by an unconscious thought of whether you can really do it or not, which in turn causes you to be indecisive about that decision to be healthy. Helen states that success and failure are always the result of how we direct our mind. So our mind is so important, and Ronnie just proved that. Look at all she's accomplishing. She changed what was going on in her mind. Stop for a moment and think, how are you directing your mind? Are you having negative conversations like, Ronnie and her Davina? And are you creating doubt in your abilities to achieve your health goals? Every success comes from a decisive mind. An indecisive mind is actually an unconscious decision to fail. So let me say that again. An indecisive mind is actually an unconscious decision to fail. When I truly decided I wanted to achieve optimal health, I felt that strength. I knew without a doubt I would get there. I won't lie to you, when I watched everybody on Strive and our group, all of you, we all have different groups, but when I was watching people, I was like, man, I want to get there so bad. I want to get there. Can I do it? And I would go back and say, yes, I can. That strength that I had within me helped me get into a fat burn. And that's the true secret with the 5-in-1. It helps the program work. You don't have to rely on willpower. And for those of you that are not doing the 5-in-1, your fat burn is that strength in your decision. Having the feeling of strength in a decision can directly be related in the belief in yourself to make it. So if you discover that you are indecisive when it comes to dive into your belief in yourself, there are some steps that you can do to change that. So first, you're going to change your perspective. So even if you kind of fall off plan a little bit, it is a chance that you, or an opportunity that you had to learn. It's okay. 3 hours later, 2.5 hours later, you get to make another better choice. Conquer your limiting beliefs. Just because you dropped weight before and it didn't work does not mean that you are not going to be successful this time, because why? You made a decision. Just because you got up to 30 pounds and you've never been able to get past that 30 pounds does not mean it's not going to work this time. Why? Because you made a decision. Practice self-love. Self-love is the basis of self-belief. If you don't love yourself, how can you trust yourself to go and accomplish these things that you're trying to do? Be proud of yourself. Create healthy routines. And this is where that journaling comes in. It's so important. You're going to discover things in our journaling. And I know it's true because I was resistant against it, and I finally started doing it thanks to Jennifer Morris. And I went, oh my goodness, I finally listened. So journal. Unlock the power of proximity. People that are surrounding you, make sure that they are supporting you, and know that, and be open that your social sphere, you might outgrow them. You might need a new one that have the same thoughts about being healthy as you do. Feed your mind with healthy things, and talk to people that have been there and done that, and change your focus. Instead of feeling down because you were 8 off program, create a compelling future. Create a compelling future, what it's going to feel like. I tell you, this life is amazing. I can walk into a store. I'm going to be going to Mexico soon. I am like so excited. And I can go into a store, and I went from a size 20 and I can wear a size 4. What? It's still crazy for me. I walk by the mirror and go, dang, I look good. It's a great life. Create that compelling life for yourself. It's amazing. I promise. Face your fears. It's worth it. Face your fears and know that that is just your brain trying to keep you the same as you are right now. Don't accept it. Push through those fears. Have a growth mindset. Learn from your hiccups in your journey. Negative talk is not going to help you. It's not going to serve you. Draw from your inner strength. Self-belief is about finding your inner strength, and embrace this journey. You know, this, I know we're running out of time, and I just want to tell you that I truly believe in every single one of you. But it's time for you to believe in yourself. You all can do this. You all have all of the tools. All it takes is the power of a decision. Thank you, Gina.
So good. Thank you both to Michelle and Ronnie. So empowering today. And I just want to thank you for taking the time to pull this together and to share your hearts and to share your really your your inner belief with us. Sometimes we have to have other people believe for us. That's what your coaches are there for, to encourage you to continue believing. So we're going to move over to our coach support call, but I just want to thank you guys. I want to thank everybody for being here. If you have ever thought about coaching, just know you're always more than welcome to pop on this exact same Zoom room. We just shut it down and reopen it back up. I hope you all have a blessed day. Have to do my legal due diligence because we talked about people and their jobs and incomes, but just wanted you guys to know you're always invited to join us on that call. We'll talk to you all later. Bye-bye.